Well, not all of those roses were in my garden or are in my garden. Obviously, it's winter time, but they're just video clips, stock video clips that I have stored in my computer. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name's Luisa. I'm not my usual cheerful self today. I'm sure you can understand why, but I thought the best thing for me to do would be to get back into the swing of things, and so that's why I thought I would put this video together. Some of the roses in the intro were roses that were given to me due to my dad's passing. And before I go any further, I want to thank all of you who left such beautiful words of comfort and support. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who gave a thumbs up to my dad's tribute video. It meant a lot to me because my dad died alone. But his passing was acknowledged by many. And so for that, I'm very grateful. And it really has helped me and my family a lot. So anyway, I don't want this video to be sad, but I do want to get on with the business of life. So I want to show you what I made with the Bargain Bead Box for January. And if you don't know what that is, I'll leave a link down below and a coupon code in case you want to buy a subscription from them. It's a really great subscription box. I think it's one of the best in the market, and I can always find inspiration. So I want to show you what I made with the January box. I think the name of the box was called Roses of Pink or something like that. And I'm not showing you these pieces because I want to show off my jewelry. I mostly want to show you to give you inspiration, especially those of you who are new. And if you see something that you like and you want me to do a tutorial, please leave some comments down below and I'll see what I can do. I may or may not be able to do a tutorial depending on what beads I have left. Now, I'm not going to be modeling any of the pieces because I just couldn't find the energy or the motivation to do that. But I did film most of the shots that you're going to see a couple of weeks ago. I just haven't had a chance to put it together in a video. But I will be showing you what they look like on a necklace display, so hopefully it'll give you some idea. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn the camera around and we'll get started. Here's necklace number 1. I thought I would showcase this one first because it perfectly fits the theme of the subscription for this month. As you can see, I used the gorgeous hand-carved rose quartz pendant, which was absolutely stunning on its own. But as you can see, I dressed it up a little bit by adding some wire work with dangles on the front, as well as dangles below. And the reason I did that was because I wanted my creation to be unique. I just figured other designers would simply hang it as is within some kind of strand. But I decided I would venture out and be a little different. The wire work isn't too brazen because I tried to keep it as modest as I could, but it does add a little sparkle and a little interest. I must admit, it took me a while to come up with a design. I'm not sure why I had such a block, but I tried getting inspiration many times by picking up complementary beads and crystals of different kinds to include some lovely check glass leaves in a rose color. But anyway, after whipping out my magic rods and staring at the bead arrangements with the pendant, I eventually developed a vision of what I wanted. I took out some 20 gauge wire to use as a form, which I placed behind the pendant. Luckily, the built-in bail was big enough to accommodate 2 passes of artistic wire, plus the beading wire that I used to create the strands. I also used one of the floral medallion links and I glued a glass bead on the front. Yes, you heard me correctly. I actually glued it. I don't like to glue things on the front because I don't think it's secure enough, but hopefully this one will stay on for a long time. But anyway, after I completed the wire work and hung some dangles that I created with 26 gauge wire and various crystals and the check leaves, I then selected the beads for the strands that I thought would complement the rose focal. And since Bargain Bead Box gave us those pretty 6mm rose quartz rounds that matched perfectly, I thought I would use them in this design along with some larger 12mm accent rounds that I had in my stash. And as you can see, I used bead caps on those 8mm beads to make them stand out a little bit and to tie in the rose quartz from the medallion link that I used as a dangle. Here's the second necklace. This one is definitely longer than the other one and it has a very boho vibe with the tassel pendant. I started by creating the strand and I definitely wanted to use the yummy 10mm quartz beads in that beautiful frosted coral color. Now I had a mental image of what I wanted to do, but initially it wasn't clear what I was going to use as a focal. So I kept connecting beads and used some peach colored rondelles in 2 different sizes that I had in my stash. And I connected a few of them and then I decided that I would use a very pretty caged bead as a focal that I had in my stash. And this was obviously not in the subscription box, but I just went with the flow and added it to my design. I built some beaded strands with small beads to use for the tassel, which I connected to the bottom of the cage bead. It was very random and I used various shades of magenta and peach, and since the theme seemed very spring-like, I attached some tiny lucite flower beads to add that little touch of spring. So anyway, here's my boho spring necklace design. You're looking at necklace number 3. Now, does this one scream spring to you? Or even better, does it scream Valentine's? It certainly does for me. I wanted this one to be as romantic as possible, but I will admit, I must have stared at that large 51mm medallion focal for days before I was inspired to do something floral and romantic. Selecting the beads was initially a little challenging. I wasn't sure which direction to take, but I found a really pretty rose bead in my stash that was kind of a bisque color, the same color as the 4x3mm rondelles they gave us. I also found various magenta colored beads to pick up the color of the pressed glass flower beads that came in the box. And I just started adding the beads with some fine line. Since the medallion had a very detailed filigree design with lots of openings, it wasn't too difficult to attach the beads. I used some smoke-colored fine line, and amazingly, it was not that noticeable in the back. Now, I've done this kind of work before, and I'll probably do a beaded backing at some point. But it honestly was not even noticeable. But anyway, as you can see, after I finished adding the beads on the front, I attached a few dangles on the bottom using the same colored beads with a flower bead on each end. The strands were made with some lovely 8mm quartz beads that I had in my stash and the rose gold chain that they gave us. And there's the back. I used a lucite flower bead at the end of the extended chain to give it a pretty accent in the back. So yeah, this one turned out very, very pretty, I must say. And here's necklace number 4. Now for this one, I used some gold colored rose beads that I picked up a few months ago from a bead show. And they're not rose gold, but I made them tie in by using some gold colored bead caps on that large 10mm center bead. So this is a mixed metal design using rose gold and antique gold. And I started by wrapping the gold rose beads to the links with some 28 gauge wire. I really wanted to use those links in this design. And since the links had some tiny holes, I was able to run the wire through the holes a couple of times to give it some security. and then I simply tuck the ends underneath the wire work. After creating a bunch of them, I then connected them to some beaded components until I had the desired length. And for the romantic look, I wanted to add some chain swags with dangles in the middle of each one. And I did use one of the rose links on the center swag. So here's the finished design, a very romantic vintage look, perfect for Valentine's or spring. And here's necklace number 5. I could have kept going because I had so many beads left over, and that's what happens when you dig into your stash a lot. But I did want to use some of the pink jade rondelles that they gave us, and I had a beautiful lampwork bead sitting around. I think it must have been in my stash for the better part of a year, and I just didn't know what to do with it. But when I saw those pink rondelles and I realized that they were the same color as the pink in the lampwork bead, I immediately wanted to use them in this design. So I used the rondelles as well as some other reddish colored rondelles to pick up the colors from the lampwork bead, and I had some other pink colored leaf beads that were a little bit larger than the other ones I used in the other designs. I also added a couple of larger 12mm pink faceted beads to use on either side of the lampwork bead. It's amazing what you can find when you dig into your storage box. I keep this box of mixed beads, and I can always find something that matches the colors that I'm trying to design with. Some of my best designs happen sporadically without even planning. But anyway, this lovely choker necklace is the result of my spur of the moment decisions. also made a bracelet to go with any of the necklaces, and it's a very simple design, as you can see, with a couple of charms that I made with some of the beads. And I made 3 cute pairs of earrings that I'll probably give away as gifts to whoever buys my necklaces, or whoever is lucky to receive one of the necklaces as a gift. I keep my earrings on the simple side just because I feel that, you know, my necklaces are a little bit on the ornate side, and so when you have a necklace that's a little ornate, it's best to go with earrings that are a little bit simpler. So anyway, that's the full collection. I hope you enjoyed looking at all the different designs, and I hope it's given you some inspiration. I really enjoyed designing with the January box. I thought the beads were absolutely gorgeous. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm sitting out here in the beautiful sunlight. I love it. It's a little bit chilly. It's about 28 degrees, but I'm trying to get some vitamin D, and I'm trying to elevate my mood, and this is one way that I do it. I'm hoping you enjoyed today's video. I hope I gave you some inspiration, and like I said, if you see something that you like and you want me to do a tutorial, just leave some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up because it helps my channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Bye.